Hello and welcome to the podcast, everybody. It's week 5, season 9. I'm Gio.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Malachi.
All right, and let's talk about what happened in this week. In match 1, we had Namek versus Muscle, in which Muscle pulled out a very close win, I believe like a bar difference. Match 2, it was Dragonball Warriors versus Androids, 80 divisional, in which Dragonball Warriors won. Then we had Coles versus Valkyries, in which Valkyries pulled out the win. Then Majins versus Derp, another divisional, in which Majins grabbed that one. Followed by ED versus Booze, in which it was a crazy back and forth in the craziest way, and ED pulled it out at the end. Match 6, we had Rugrats versus Blades, in which Blades grabbed another win. Match 7, we had Ginyu versus Gons, in which unfortunately Ginyu got another loss. And match 8, in which Afterlife versus Saiyans and Pycon won.
That's one way of summarizing that match.
That's 130k. He won.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but let's talk about another match in which had a couple really big hitters.
Yeah.
Earth Defenders versus Booze. Yeah, what happened in that match? Nova Shenron came out swinging.
He did.
Yeah.
It was good to see him back on. What was the scary Nova from last season? I was happy to see it.
He was 6k, less than 6k away from Elite because of what he did.
Yeah, I know how it feels.
10 B2s hit with a still super strong, even though they're a little nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then
Kid Buu happened.
Yeah, so let me run down the stats of Earth Defenders. Yamcha, the first fighter, 5k damage only. Tien, the second fighter, 3.4k. Then Mid Goku came in, 82,000. Krillin, 82,000.
Good job, Krillin and Mid Goku.
Yeah,
I mean,
my God.
So, but without, on the other hand, to not take away too much from what Krillin and Mid Goku did, you look at what Kid Buu did when he stepped on the field, and like I don't know how to describe what happened, except the AI basically decided to do nothing when it had the opportunity.
B2. It's a B2 spammer and only threw out one.
Yeah. Now, on the one hand, Tien isn't always like the way I look at TNAI from all the testing I've done with it. It tends to prioritize aggressiveness over B2s. So like it doesn't care if it's if it gets a chance to do B2s, that's great, but if it just gets a chance to do a melee combo, it'll do that instead.
Yeah. Another issue. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Another issue over at Booze is that they're because of the lack of Potara's like Eternal Life, because of their healing characters, they're really tight on Potara's. So when one and only one character decides not to work, it's very hard to change their build without changing someone else's, because that's the problem they're having right now with Kid Buu and Nuova. They want to change Kid Buu, but there's some conflicts with Nuova Shenron.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, yes, with the Potara restrictions are a little annoying on some characters, especially like Kid Buu, Majin Buu. The bigger thing, honestly, if they want to keep Kid Buu as a B2 character, is, two of the main AIs Kid Buu's restricted from, because he's got those B1 healing moves. Like
Chaozu and
Chaozu and Yajirobe.
Yajirobe, yeah, you're right.
Very good.
Yeah.
For some characters, it's been very good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. When it comes to TNAI, I understand what you're saying, where if it prioritizes melee, if it gets a chance to melee, it will. The thing I've also seen, though, it's one of those AI where it doesn't really set up its B2s, it just tosses them out. Yeah. And when it gets a chance to toss a B2, unlike some AI where it's like, oh, a chance means he's wide open, I've knocked him back, or he's mid-melee and I jumped out of it. For this one, it means, oh, he's not in my face, I can throw it, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But with Kid Buu, he's throwing out 8, which isn't horrible, but for a character that's running Key +1, who has good charge to begin with, that's really low. That's like there's meleeers with around that much.
Yeah. I mean, part of the problem is just with all those restrictions on there, it can be hard to find AIs. It might just be hard for them to find AIs that work for Kid Buu. If they want, because all of Kid Buu's B2s are fantastic. I mean, you've got I think it's the Kamehameha Wave, the Rush B2, and his Supernova.
Yeah.
I mean,
His
all of
Planet
those are
Burst, yeah.
all of those are really good, but for whatever reason, the AI just doesn't want to throw them out. I mean,
Oh, actually, I'd like to point this out. He
Yeah.
was on TNAI, but last week in week 5 against CD, he had Gohan AI, not
Yeah.
TN. So they did change him up.
oh, that's good.
Yeah. They recognize, but unfortunately, it just doesn't pan
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And
The
they're
thing
going
with Kid
back.
Buu is that they need to figure out that they either need to change the AI or change the build to better suit the AI, which is near impossible with all the restrictions without having to change someone else's.
Honestly,
Because
honestly,
one of the big things that I've been one thing that I recommended was an O'Reilly type build with just a melee Patara thrown on, like attack +2 with key. You know, he's not too sure about that. Like, quickly talk about something related to this. We had Trunks working on an attack up to savior build with TNAI that really liked to do melee, and when he'd either use his B1 or charge up to full, he'd throw out his ult and all that, and he did really good on it. I'd like to see Kid Buu do really good on that because his stats are amazing, but it's really hard for them to do that.
you know what I would suggest? Because they have a free attack +1 open. It's there.
Yeah,
Give him attack +1 and turn him into a melee fighter.
Yeah.
With if you can B2 spring, I think the perfect AI for him would be Majin Buu AI if it functions like I've seen other characters use it.
yeah.
Of course, that's the issue. I'm sure.
In
you
our
know,
in our main season testing, it's starting to do stuff for Cyborg Tao too. So yeah,
yeah, there's different
he
characters.
throws
with-
out B2s.
Oh, it throws them. I'd like to present PyCon.
yeah,
It throws.
Still
it can throw
salty.
B2.
it,
Yeah,
it really
much.
depends on the character and if they charge. Like Majin Buu on 16 AI, or 16 on Majin Buu AI only throws out about 1 B2 a match, but a lot of that is just he doesn't have a lot of charge.
Yeah, and
bonus,
there's
and-
another thing. It's an
and-
android, so
yeah.
he's not going to manually charge. It changes the dynamic of
Exactly.
how the AI functions. I
So-
think because he has a naturally good charge rate. Kid
Oh,
Buu, I
yeah.
think, could benefit from it a lot, and it has good usage in Savior. Not always an ultimate, but it uses Savior well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, just a suggestion. It's a little crazy because you're changing the role entirely, but it might work.
I think it really will
Yeah.
with his stats.
Yeah. Talking about the rest of the characters, though, Evil Boo did 37k. He was his usual self. He just had a really tough fight against Mid Goku. And-
Evil Boo is he works really well, but the problem is that the way his build is set up is he's one of the main people that's causing the problem with Pataras.
Yeah.
Running quick fast attack and savior on a key plus build.
Yeah, he's definitely holding a lot of different type of powers on him.
Yeah.
I do see why he's working so well. That build
Yeah.
really does benefit him. I think he should keep it, but
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, he could probably do without the fighting spirit and key +2. But I mean,
yeah,
you know, that's a
Could
nitpick.
Tapion do without it?
Probably.
I don't know.
I would
Anyway.
never recommend anything above like a key +3, and I think he usually has like, yeah, I mean key +2 launches and fighting spirit. That just drop
put it
either
another
of
way.
the.
To put it another way, none of the boos have naturally slow charge rate. They all have either normal or above average. So K
Yeah.
+2 should be sufficient, especially since they don't have expensive B2s, most of them.
All right.
On top of that, Oob did 30k. He fought a hyper-aggressive Krillin, though, so I'm not going to blame him. I think he fought well. I think he's doing.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
excuse Best Boy's performance.
And on the ED, there's nothing really to say other than they're still their old selves, and their two worst characters are showing to be the two worst, even though one of them's somehow Yamcha.
Mm-hmm.
That,
But
and
don't worry, they're gonna lose next week.
Okay. We'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
we can hope.
Moving on.
Yeah, we'll vote on that at the end. Moving on, I want to brush over this little nugget. Videl build changed a little, has dragon power, and
There you go.
yeah, it's a very quick thing. Let me get her full build out here for everybody. It's pretty much the same. She has Key plus 1, serious, quick fast attack, rising fighting spirit, and dragon power. So a little bit of charge, which is all she needs, and melee and dragon power, which is great.
Yeah. She only clashed once, but she won it.
Yeah,
That's what's important.
And I'd say it was a very important one because she got to throw out an alt right after.
Yep.
Yupperoonie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good job. You did around 40k, just about. Took her man and a very powerful character on Team Cold and Cooler. So yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to say about that, or should we move
No.
on?
Not particularly.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the characters who. It's been 5 weeks. We have an idea of who's working and who's not. The characters who aren't working very well, aside from, and we're gonna ignore Ginyu Force because we've talked about them and it's kind of obvious what's going on with them right now. We have let's start off with Malachi's.
So
Android 17.
I'll actually dispute somewhat that he should be there because he was in every week from week 1 to week 5. Week 1 he was clearly a closer, only did 2,000 damage.
Right.
And week 5 he just got slammed by an ult to the face by Vegito. But every other week he did over 40k. So
Okay. So my reasoning for putting him up here is he's not horrible. He's just not being as good as as I expect him to be. I think of him as your second best fighter, and he seems more like a mediocre fighter.
yeah, that's probably due to his AI, which was a lot better in the preseason and in testing. And on week 1, did he literally just tag and throw out something and then killed and won the game, the match?
Oh
Basically.
yeah, his stats took a major hit from that.
Yeah, there's only really one bad performance there then.
Yeah.
And he did get hit with an ult to the face, so I'll side with Mal here. I'll dispute it.
I mean, but Geom's also right. I mean, when you think of 17, you're usually thinking of a 50, 55k character, which 17 clearly isn't living up to. I mean, the only time he got...
Yeah, it's a slightly tweaked difficulty, though.
I mean, with that, I mean, as I said, a lot of that comes down to we don't change... Like, he has been performing well enough to where it's not the thing we were looking at, but it finally just got to a point of, with all the complete crap luck we've been having in our last 3 matches, we're having to look at it and say, okay, 17's got to bring up his game a bit because, we're on a, he can do better, and we're trying. We've got a couple ideas that we're gonna try, and we'll see what happens. So
I hope they work out for you because you're not in my division, so I don't have to care.
Yeah.
So my whole view
And
on
hopefully by the time we meet in week 15, we'll already be South Kai champions.
anyway, my whole point on 17 is it looks so far on your team. It looks to me like you have Cell, who's carrying quite a bit of weight, and then you've got 3 average fighters in 16, 8er, and 17, and then a pool was holding you back. That was my concern.
Yeah, we can talk about that in the next section.
We will talk about a pool in the next section, but I was really hoping that a pool wouldn't be that big of an issue because of 17, which, I mean, he's good, just not what I expected.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about someone we already talked about a little, Kid Buu.
I think we discussed it. We discussed literally everything we could about Kid Buu earlier.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make one note then. His current average is 22,000, and in terms of rankings in the league, there's only 2 people below him. One is Raditz, who got FA benched, and the other is General Tao.
who actually did pretty good last week.
Who did good. So he's
Wait.
probably,
Wait, a
He's on
pool?
the up.
A pool? What?
What?
pool's
Pool
above.
is up over.
A pool
Pool's
is
above
above
Birder and Bobby.
and Kid Boo.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go and let my brain blue screen for a few minutes.
Does
So
not
don't-
compute.
Yeah, so... there's been
Yajirobe's
a
above
couple-
Frieza. It's a weird world we live in, Malachi.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
we'll talk about Frieza in a little bit. But yeah, Kid Buu has definitely been hit the hardest this season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Feel
yeah,
really bad for
he's-
Evil and Scuddy over there.
Yeah, he's had the biggest change of being from like dropping in just ability. I don't know what's going on with him. But yeah, the next topic is
Raditz.
Raditz.
yeah. So he's been utter shit.
I feel really bad about this. I always liked Raditz.
So did I.
He was usually who was he sparring buddies with on the Blades a lot? Because we sparred with you guys a lot. Raditz and Bardock sparred with Tapion and Trunks and Yajirobe a lot in the off season. He was shown that he was pretty good. Yeah. So I feel really bad.
Yeah, the thing is, we had a lot of testing on him in the off season with Trunks AI, and it looked great. There was no reason for us to think, oh, it's not going to work. Until like the last 2 to 3 weeks, where we had a couple of opponents testing against us, and it looked a little weird. Where he had some bad tendencies. Wasn't working properly, doing a little bit worse than we expected. But we were like, whatever, we'll check it out in the preseason to make sure. The preseason didn't exactly make us feel confident, but we were like, it's not bad enough to consider switching him, because switching him in for KV means the dynamic of how we build our characters changes dramatically. So the main season starts. He is utter trash. 10K. I don't know what to do. I rewatched those matches a million times. I noticed 2 things. Trunks AI does not do high-speed dodges. He dodges once, and then he lets the person hit him. He got into like 6 of them, and always did the same thing. The other thing is he would cut off his melee combos to grab. And that's the main issue. We couldn't find an AI that didn't do that. So...
Ditto Super 17. That's why we got him off melee.
So, Cell AI actually had a decent chance, but last week was our last chance to see if he's worth it. And he unfortunately got a very bad matchup. On the week, we also took off his clash boost. He got to 3 clashes. So, yeah, it was a little bit of circumstance and a little bit of we can't hope to test it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I get where you're coming from, you know, because it sucks when a character is just struggling so hard, and you really got to ask yourself that question, and then you say, okay, let's try to test him out, and then it's against the one character who decides to be a complete and total monster that week.
Yeah, it negates all the data we were hoping. Like for the last 3 matches, we made sure to bench our 3 or 4 matches. We made sure to bench our better characters so we could keep Raditz in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then just. I mean, we got good benches out of it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, out of the way. But yeah, from the side of that, we'll talk about who we swap him in for, as if people can't figure out later.
Right.
Unless you guys have anything to say, let's talk about the Friezas.
The Frieza's.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of their stats and their builds. Frieza's not throwing out a lot of B2s. And that's not good on a character who generally seems to be, from what I can see, running Key +1 or Key +2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With Fighting Spirit, Savior, Launch Support, and Kabito's Secret Art.
Here's the thing, though. He's hit with everything he's thrown out, unless this week's an exception.
No, he's still, according to stats, he's 4 for 4, but...
Except he missed 1 ult this week. That's the only difference. His first miss.
Yeah.
With this week, he's 6 for 6 in B2s and 4 out of 5 adults, which is amazing if he just threw out more.
Yeah. I think here the issue is probably just Yajirobe AI more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what their testing looks like, but I mean, if they're really looking for a spammer, maybe Chaozu or Tien might be better. Or
Tien's worked really well for Tapion. I highly recommend it.
I can tell you, in the off season, Yajirobe and Frieza used to throw out an insane amount of B2s and ultimates.
I remember seeing a few of those tests, and I probably ran a few of those tests. So I mean, the potential is there. It's maybe
It's
just
not happening.
It's just not happening, and it could be the difference between, you know, I'm a little biased against Yajirobe AI because I saw very similar tendencies on 8er and 17 where, you know, and he starts out throwing a crap ton of B2s, but, you know, after 6 or 7 weeks on that character, he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And, you know, that was my experience with it. That was, you know, pretty much the only thing we could count on for a while was it had about a 50-50 shot of tagging. But even after about 5-6 weeks, it wasn't tagging. It was just doing melee, and I mean, it's really showing in his stats.
I think the other thing is, I don't think he needs that much charge rate, to be completely honest. I think it helps him get into max power a lot, but at the same time, and it also helps him deal with that
charge negative.
B1. Yeah. The thing is, though, I think because how uncommon B2 seem to be they're not horribly uncommon, but he should throw out more if he wants to make up for damage, because his melee's not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should consider Super +1.
Either Super +1 or honestly, maybe even Attack +1 and maybe it's taking indignation away from someone else and giving it to him.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Let me check just to make sure. Yeah, I'm thinking that Mecha Frieza could probably do without indignation.
Probably.
I mean that's also that's their worst character, stats wise at least. I don't think Attack +1 is going to work just because I haven't seen eye test here. I haven't seen Frieza, Final Form Frieza, do good melee against anyone.
Yeah.
So maybe
That's
far
fair.
on par a little, but aside from that,
Yeah, well, at the same time, I think some of this is Cold's never really been big on the whole melee thing. I mean, they've toyed with it a few times with Mecha and Cooler, but I mean, for the most, and King Cold in the past, they've toyed with it, but they've never really been big on the melee thing, and I don't know.
They always go into a defense or spam route.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, at this point, I don't think it could hurt to try it on one of the Friezas. It's not like they can do much worse.
I think the better Frieza to put it on would be Mecha, though.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Mecha's a little bit more limited in the B2 side of things.
Yeah.
Looking at Mecha's builds right now.
Yeah. And limited in comparison to Final Form Frieza, because I know he's got good B2s normally.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's talk about Mecha. He wasn't in last week, but he's on a defense +2.
Mecha's ran Style of the Strong twice.
Mm-hmm.
Week 3, I believe, Mecha Frieza did really well in this build, and then it did terrible the next week, but the problem was they changed the AI for some reason, even though it did 48k.
Yeah, they went from Yajirobe. Actually,
no, they went from Majin Buu to
Vegeta.
No. But if you go farther back, they went from Yajirobe to Majin Buu to Vegeta AI.
Yeah, but the Majin Buu one worked. It did 48k on its first week. They didn't run it. They didn't run it again. They switched to Vegeta, and then it did 20k.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about that also.
Why change it? It was working. It worked pretty well. Week 3.
Just to point out, it wouldn't be the first time they've done strange things with their builds without catching it.
You think it might have been
it might have just been a mistake because I mean they immediately, week 6 they went straight back to Majin Buu AI because I mean.
What do you mean? Am I not? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I couldn't find week 6.
Yeah, no, I looked.
Yeah, no, back on Majin Buu. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it might have been a mistake.
Yeah,
or maybe they thought they could find a better AI.
Or it could have been testing. I've encouraged my team to do this before, where you have 2 AI that look good in testing and like main season testing, and you're not sure which one's better. So you give each one 1 week before like a major deadline appears, and then you pick from between which one you prefer. I'm assuming the major deadline's the FA switch for them. So
yeah, I'd say if Mecha does well against Majins, then it's not necessarily an issue. That's 2 good performances on this specific build with this AI.
Speaking of FAs, as a side note, they should totally bring in Salza for Metacooler.
Oh Please no.
Please,
Actually, no. Do it because I don't have to fight. I don't have to fight cold, so I don't have to look at that disgusting French alien ever again.
I'd love for him to pull another play of the year against us this time.
Derp of the year.
Play of the year. But yeah, no, I think they've already considered the right course of action with Mecha Frieza. I do agree with you. Indignation should be pulled off someone, and I think it should be Mecha Frieza. I think the melee would be
sure? Let me look.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is that Mecha Frieza has a death beam that is very hard to hit with. His other B2 is decent.
His hit rate ain't that good.
I mean,
it's okay. It's not the worst, but yeah, he doesn't throw out enough for me to go.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
what would you put in its place?
Let me pull up their builds.
Depending on what they have.
The first thing I see is that they got a second quick fast attack slot. I would honestly replace Indignation with that. Or honestly, I mean, Mecha is a bit of a tanky build. Latent energy might not be a bad idea either.
It has latent energy.
Yeah. Quick fast attack for sure is the way.
Light body, Indignation, serious latent energy savior.
Yeah, they took up 10 days.
It's defense with no healing, which is a bit worrying as well. But they're thinly spread for healing because Metacooler.
I mean, they're using it on 2 people, so they're doing what they can. I'm not sure that King Cold is necessarily the best choice for that. But
and I know this doesn't have to do with Mecha, but they're doing something in King Cold that I know you don't like it a lot, and I don't like a lot.
Yes, they're using high tension.
Why?
Makes sense.
So,
you have a launch support free.
I'm not gonna go. I was trying not to go there, GM. Very hard.
No, I'm going to point out craziness when I see it.
Okay. Like launch support and active heart would do better.
I understand high tension as a last resort if the team is okay with it. I don't understand it when you have better alternatives in general. I just don't.
I've said my bit on that, so I'm not gonna go there.
Okay. Fair enough. I know you have a lot more to say than me anyway. But yeah, I think they're going the right direction with Mecha Frieza. I agree with Mal. Quick fast attack's probably the best swap in there. And let's move on to our next section here. Before we do predictions, because I know we're kind of cutting it close, let's do a very quick rundown of the FA switches.
Okay. I'll start with mine.
Yeah.
We're switching out a pool for Giro. Big thing is just our luck the last 3 weeks has been complete crap. On RNG, and a defense -2 that we're on a pool ain't helping anything. So a pool sucks, and while Giro seems to be about as good as a pool, at a minimum we get a bonus defense +2 on him just in comparison. So we're gonna see what
Just
happens.
to be clear, you guys still have access to Eternal Life, right?
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Good.
Because he can't steal health anymore.
Nice.
Only via his ult, and he doesn't
Yeah.
throw out his ult enough for it to be penalized like that.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. When the character's averaging 25k, it's a little concerning.
Yeah.
As I'm familiar with, because we did something similar.
Yeah, all I'll say is, to be fair, we tried to keep a pool as a closer for that very reason. It's just we're at a point where something's got to change.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, so we swapped out Raditz for King Vegeta, seeing as Raditz has been literally the worst. Oh, yeah, he's been the worst character. The stats just got updated. He's been the worst character all season with 19k.
How was KV doing in the preseason?
He was doing okay. With our whole issue with KV is he's a little reliant on that A form, and we're a little worried that his base form might not be able to pull it away. But you know what? At this point, I think the base form will pull more than 20k, and the A form is likely to give him that 40k at all times. So yeah, we're going in with him. It changes our team Patara dynamic a little, but it might not actually be a bad thing because attack +1 opens up for some characters who we may or may not throw it on in the future. And the last FA bench swap was Burger with Raccoon, which, if this was any other season, would sound insane.
Yeah. It's not unexpected.
No.
I was a little, even a week ago, it would have been a little surprising to see, Birder, and even more surprising, the next choice would have been Jace. Talk about
swap like for like.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens.
Here's the thing. Well, if the next choice was Jace, I actually would have been a little iffy about that because the last 2 weeks after his build swap, he's been good. He's done 57 at 35k.
That's fair. I mean, he has improved the last 2 weeks, but I mean, in terms of just overall, like, consistency and averages, Jace probably would have been the second choice to go. But, hopefully they've fixed through Jace's problems, and a few weeks on the FA bench will help him get Birder working.
And yeah, maybe we'll see him reappear, maybe not. I hope they start winning, even if it means that even if they don't make the playoffs. I hope they get results.
Agreed.
Because that is a bad way to go into the off season. Yeah, and unless you guys have any final words on that topic, let's move on to predictions. All right. We're gonna do this quickly. We're gonna try and get this moved on. Say your one sentence about the team, or none at all, on who's winning, and pass it on to the next person. We'll go Andy, then Malachi. All right. Match 1 of week 6. Vals versus Muscle. Andy.
I'm gonna go with Muscle. South Kai is best Kai currently.
Mal.
Just oh, that's right. They didn't post. I'm gonna say Vals.
So, Muscle didn't post.
They didn't post who, if they're switching out FAs or anything.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So
why would they?
Because they have to. This is a free agent slip week.
I get that.
But just looking.
They're gonna get theirs. Yeah, they're gonna get theirs. Any penalized? I think.
I was getting at why would they swap their FA?
Oh, I don't know. I think Val's the stronger team, but I want Muscle to win.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You're not biased.
Yeah. Match 2, Namek versus Androids. No, I'm totally not biased.
Androids, you guys got this.
Mr. Android. I'll let you just go.
Shouldn't I go last?
Nah, screw it. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're due a win. As long as RNG doesn't screw us, I think we should win.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna just give it to you guys. I think without a pool, especially, it'll be fine. Derp versus Ramble Warriors.
I'm gonna go with Derp.
Pal?
I'm gonna give it to. Part of me thinks DB Warriors will win, but I want to give it to Derp because of reasons.
Because of reasons. I wonder what those are.
You know,
No, nothing
no,
important.
not anything like DB Warriors. Just, beat my team or anything.
No, not at all. Yeah. So I'm going to give it to. I was originally going to give it to Dragonball Warriors, but they benched Nam. And wait, nope, that's probably my mistake. Actually, did they bench Nam?
They
I don't
benched
think
Tao.
They benched Tao. Yeah. Okay, my mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Dragonball Warriors. I think they had the stronger overall team with both Vegito and Namen. Week match 4.
Cold
versus
Majins.
Majins.
Yep.
Lovers
Cold.
quarrel. I love this one, but I'm going to choose the team whose banner I made and have the hidden reference in their banner, so I'm going to choose King Cold.
All right, Mal.
I think with KO not letting, starting Majub, putting Deborah up against King Cold, I think
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Yeah, I think this will be for the Majins. They took the advantage they knew they would get and ran with it.
So evil. So you think they ran Deborah because they knew they'd run King Cold first?
What? The Majins are evil?
No comment.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I actually see both these teams being pretty close, so I'll give it to the Majins, just because I think they're a little bit more rounded. But I think it'll be close, regardless of the evil move. Match 5, Gohans versus Booze.
Real quick, who's opening for Gohans? Here's your Gohan. I know I want to win, but I'm going to choose Gohan. Sorry, you boy.
All right, Malachi.
I want Booze to win on multiple levels.
Okay.
One, they're just having a rough season. They're due a win. The other is Gohans are in my division, and so I want Gohans to lose.
Fair. I want Booze to win. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I think because Kid Boo's still in on TNA, right?
I've got that pulled up. Yes, he is on.
Yes.
He is back on TNAI.
I think it's going to be, and Gohan Boo hasn't been good. I think Gohan's have the better chance.
Yeah.
Just based on past weeks.
Yep.
Match 6, Blades versus ED.
We're
And this
gonna
one I
win.
will- Okay.
We are going to win. And that's not me hoping for the best. We're going to beat them. I have confidence.
We're not biased, everybody. Malachi.
As much as I want ED to lose, and I don't want them to lose badly, I think I got to give it to them. I think the lineup they have is just better enough to pull out the win. Now, that being said, I do think Blades have a shot.
Yeah, I think it's the same exact way. I want Blades to win, though, so I'll officially put my vote down for Blades, regardless of what I actually think.
Good. Because we got this.
Yeah.
Sans for you, Rugrats. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sans versus Rugrats.
Sans.
Yay.
You guys benched your worst player. You guys FA benched your worst player. I think you guys got this.
Yeah. He's also benched, whoever came in.
KV, yeah.
It's like, I'm in, I can finally fight.
No, you're gonna wait a week, boy.
Yeah. Wow.
In before you spend 2 Zenny and put him back on the FA bench before he even plays.
Well, we'd have to lose in order to do that.
I'm probably going to give it to you as well. Rugrats are gambiting on Gotenks, and I think that's a really big gambit. And with Cell Jr. not doing quite as well as I remember him doing in seasons past, or I think you're just a better overall team.
I will agree with you. I will, in all fairness, though, I'll give them one thing. They have a better start to the match since it's GT Goku versus Turles. If Turles goes ape, it's over for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That being said, I think we're the stronger team regardless of that fact. We have our 2 strongest characters, and the rest are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next match,
Ginyu.
match 8, Ginyu vs. Afterlife.
I'm picking Ginyu. I think they actually have a good matchup in the opening. Their strongest player's coming out first, and if he really goes off, he can get them a huge lead, and then Raccoon just needs to show up, Jason just needs to show up, and Goldo needs to keep what he's been doing and not being terrible, but
All right.
hopefully he does really good. I think Ginyu could do this.
Okay. Malachi.
I'm thinking this. On the one hand, I really want to see them pull it off. And with Afterlife benching PyCon, they could do it. But I do think Afterlife is just a slightly better team overall at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately.
Well,
Yeah,
looking at their lineups real quick, they do have their worst player coming out second. So if
Yeah.
Vegeta does lose to Ginyu, there's a chance Ginyu could go off and do like 80k.
Right.
Poten-
Anyway,
potentially.
let's
but, yeah.
not get into a giant discussion about this.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, I'm gonna put my vote in. I want Ginyu to win. I think it's going to, if their characters act as they should, I think Goldo is going to be the defining fighter because Ginyu's good, Gotenks Spoof should be good, Raccoon should be good. I think Goldo is going to be the defining factor in this fight.
agreed.
I hope they win. Yeah.
Guess he didn't read the lineup and said Jace was in. No.
No. Well. Yeah. That is the end of predictions. That is the end of this cast. If you guys have anything you want to complain to us about, ask any questions, yada yada, in the comments, in the thread on the forums, there's a link to it. And that's it. Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Adios.
Later.